James,
And I'm Marlon.
and welcome to the Trash Talk and Tall Tales podcast, now available on Spotify. We upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so come check us out. Marlon, I think you got a topic for us today, so I'll let you go ahead and kick us off.
I do. As most viewers don't know, the way we record these is you have no idea about what my topic is, and I have no idea what your topic is. So let me ask you a question. What
Sure.
are your red flags on dating sites? I know you're not on dating sites. Before you answer, I know you don't do online dating, but let's just say if you
I
decided,
have.
no, I see that you have, but I mean, as far as current, let's just say that you decide to do online dating. What would be your red flags?
Red flag number one. If I see someone that's constantly going on vacation, that's a red flag for me. If I see someone wanting someone who is generous, that's a red flag for me.
Mine too.
If I okay, if I see someone who I don't know, there's only so much you can put in a bio. There's only so many characters you can actually put in a bio, and that's not really that person. Everybody's putting their pictures in that they think that is going to attract the most fish, so to speak. Their bait, if you will. I guess another one is like pictures where they're filtered. That's another thing I just can't stand. I'm totally against that. You've asked me, so I'll go ahead and kick this ball back to you.
Mine are about the same. I'd rather see someone who's natural and see exactly what I'd be looking at. As far as a vacation, I don't have a problem with that. Not at all.
Okay.
One of my, of course, I've already told you about the generosity. I think that's a key word.
So generosity is one of those things that can be taken out of context. Because sometimes I think generosity means me spending all of my hard-earned money on somebody else. And you already know my stance on first dates and how I think that should go. So I don't want to get too much into it.
Okay. Just for those that don't know, what is your heart? Because I know. What is your hard stance on first dates?
If we're meeting on the first date, we're going to dinner, coffee, whatever, something that involves a price of some sort. You should pay for that. It should be halved. We should half that bill because we're just getting to know each other. We're just really getting to see each other in real time for the first time. So I think the effort should be mutual on both parties.
I don't agree with that. I've already told you I don't agree with that, but that's your stance. I can respect that.
Thank you.
I don't see anything wrong with the man doling out the first amount. I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Why is that though?
Because I'm old school. I'm an old soul. When a man goes out with a woman, I just feel like the first date, he should take care of things. He should. I don't know. He should just pay.
Now, like I said before, this is part of our programming as well. We live in a different time. I think that time was more when women couldn't work, didn't work, or chose not to work. And this is a whole nother subject. Like we can make a podcast about this just entirely. So I don't want to veer too much off a subject.
Are you talking about
But
feminism?
if you want to call it that, that's cool. I don't necessarily call it that. I think that we as men have been taught that we need to be the ultimate provider. This touches back on the "Can You Be a Kept Man" episode that we did not too long ago. Roles and have changed. I mean, just to be honest with you, roles have changed over the years. I just feel like if you're making your own money and I'm making my own money, what's wrong with us splitting a bill for the first time that we meet? Because I feel like this. You could block me the very next day. So I'm taking the risk when I put in that investment or whatnot, and I think your risk should be the same as mine at that point.
Well, I feel as though if you're not a serial dater, what are you losing? You just,
Money.
I mean, but the money amount is so minuscule. You just
Is it?
go, you're just going out, meeting someone, enjoying someone's conversation. What's wrong with you spitting, go ahead and taking care of the bill?
How much is your bill usually when you go out on first date?
It's according to where you go, of course. But let's just say
I'm
if
just
you,
talking run of the mill. Run of the mill.
okay, are you talking about dinner or are you talking about just meeting for coffee?
Dinner.
It's according to where you go. If you go
True.
to, a half decent sit down restaurant, $80.
$80. Let's break that down
Well,
per
hold on.
hour.
Before you break that down, if you do some serious vetting before you go out on that date, you see if you're compatible. You see if you have the same interest. You have a couple conversations. You mitigate the cost by seeing if you know what I'm saying. You can take things further.
Well, me personally, Marlon, I don't like to deal with a person who's got the same interests as me. I know that sounds kind of contrary to
It's
popular belief.
counterintuitive.
I like to be pushed, man. I like somebody to get me out of my comfort zone. Like if you like rock climbing, I've never done that before. Not saying I would do it, but I'm saying like if you like that kind of thing, yeah, turn me on to it. Let me see what it's like. I don't
Well,
want
I
somebody that
mean, as
likes
far
doing the
as
same thing I'm doing.
no, I'm talking about as far not interests like that. I mean, interests that really matter, whether that's religion, political, that sort of thing. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure you don't like to be pushed in that manner, right?
I mean, I like to hear different people's perspectives on stuff. I feel like just because I think differences make the relationship a little more interesting. I think if you get with somebody who's basically the same as you are, at some point it's going to get boring. I mean that happens anyway, just with comfort, you know, over time. But at the same time, I do like to have that difference. I want you to push me to my bounds. I want you to make me accountable for doing extracurricular stuff. You know, I that's just me. But like I said, I don't want to veer too much off the subject. But I do have a question for you. So you don't think that someone going on all these vacations is a red flag?
No, I've always said life is short. If you can put your feet in the sand, put your feet in the sand.
I agree with you to a certain extent. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about destination chasers, excuse me. I just feel like that's a mentality that some people have, and I feel like if I'm going to be 100% honest, I feel like if you're constantly going on vacation, and I'm not saying if you have the money to do so, that's great. But some of these people are like, you know, they're a lot of us are paycheck to paycheck. Let's just be honest. But if you're in that mode and you're still going on those vacations, I think at some point you're going to have to make a decision on whether you want to kind of settle down or not. And I don't think someone that goes on vacation a lot is ready to settle down,
Okay. Yet again, I'd have to disagree with you, sir,
as usual.
as is our
Uh,
custom. What's
it
what's
is.
what's 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 wrong with the person? Let's just say if I like to once a month, I like to go see different beaches. Do you see a problem with that?
Once a month is fine.
Okay,
But
so
but let's just be honest, man. Uh, a lot of times, once you've seen one beach, you've seen them all.
no,
Uh,
no, no, no,
the water is still the same on whatever
no,
beach you
no,
go to.
because you
Now,
could
there
be
are some stank beaches. Don't
you
get me
could
wrong.
you
There
could
are
be an
stank
individual who
beaches.
just wants to see the different lighthouses across the coast. What's wrong with
That's
that?
quirky. That's quirky. I get that. But how many lighthouses are across the coast? I
It's a
mean, if you were
lot
doing
of
that,
lighthouses.
okay, but I'm 40 years old, you know, plus two. So my thing is, if you've already been doing this, how many places on earth is there to go? There, I know. Okay, let me say that there's millions of places to go, billions, trillions of places to go. Well, what I'm saying is, if you're constantly seeking these things out and constantly spending your money on that, I just don't know how stable you are. Really, I can't really judge how you would be in a actual committed relationship, because going on vacation, I'm not saying doesn't take leads to someone not being committed to someone else, but I'm
That's what
just
it
saying,
sounds like,
like,
sir.
it
That's what it
sounds
sounds
like it,
like.
but it's just one of those things I've noticed just over the years. I look on these pages or these profiles, and you got them going to, everywhere under the sun. I'm just like, okay, but when you get in a relationship with somebody, a serious relationship,
Why
more
can't y'all
than
go
likely,
together?
I'm not saying you can't, but I said more than likely, you're going to be in a state or period in your time together where you're going to have to stay at that house and deal with each other. Vacation is an escape. It's an escape from reality. That's not going to your 9 to 5 or your 3 to 11 or whatever you work. It's an escape. So if this person's constantly trying to escape, it lends me to believe that they're not in tune with reality. Not saying you can't travel. Let me say that, because I know people going to come at me for this. I'm not saying you can't travel. And that's great if you have the means to do so. But I'm saying, as a partner, for me, I just don't see that stability there if you're constantly chasing the next destination.
I don't see anything wrong with seeing different places. I don't see anything wrong with going coast to coast, me personally. And if you get in a relationship, I don't see anything wrong two people going together. So I think the original topic was red flags.
And that's that red flag for me.
So that red flag is travel. That red flag is if she has more than one background, if it's not in her living room.
No,
If
not
it's
necessarily. Not it's not that I'm not that hardcore on it. It just lends me to believe, like when I talk, and I have talked to people online before, but when you tell me every weekend you're going somewhere out of town, no, I'm good on that.
all right, you have the right to do that, sir. You
So
most
let's
definitely have
talk
the right.
about another thing. You said you agree with me on filters. So why do you believe that filters are a red flag?
I think filters are false advertising because when I meet you, you can't make your eyes filter you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, filters are for everyone else, but for the love of your life. Filters are bait, so to speak.
Oh yeah. But
It's
that's what you're
it's
trying to get on these sites, right? You're trying to
you
bait
want to look
to
your
get.
best. You want to look your
Yeah.
best. I get that, but I feel as though if if you're going to filter, if you're going to filter, you need to at least have some genuine, unfiltered photos on your profile. That's only fair.
No, I agree with that, and I will say this: even on those websites or those dating sites, 2D is different than 3D,
Absolutely,
because you can
absolutely.
look good on a picture and get to see you in person, and you look like two different people.
Well, not to even go deeper than that, I've always said that when you meet someone for the first time, you're not meeting them; you're meeting their representative.
Boy, you are right on that.
Because people change. People always put their best foot forward.
You are right on that. And if you've noticed, like when we were talking about splitting the bill for food, there are some people you go on that first date with, and they don't eat as much as they normally would. And I know I'm guilty of that as myself. Like, because I can pig out, I can hog out on some, any kind of food. But whenever I'm with somebody, I don't want to seem greedy. if that's the word.
Well,
Uh,
okay, back of the first date deal. I really feel there's nothing wrong. It's an investment. I feel it's an investment. I feel as
an
though,
investment with a person that you just met.
well, I feel as though if you put enough time, if you talk to someone so many different times, and you feel as though you're compatible, what's wrong with breaking bread? I don't see a problem with that at all. And
Breaking
don't call
bread.
me a trick. I'm just saying that there's nothing wrong with me handling that bill and saying, you know what, I had fun, I had a good time.
But what you just said, though, you remember you said people put their best face forward whenever we're doing
Absolutely,
this thing.
meeting their
So when you're
representative.
talking to these people, you're talking to the representative. So
I
that
agree.
representative, you're not meeting that real person. You're
No,
meeting
I agree.
somebody who's representing who that person potentially could be.
I totally agree.
So what I'm saying is the investment should be on both parties. We should have equal parts in this investment. It shouldn't be me brokering this whole deal where you get to be basically a passenger princess or everything on James whenever we go out. It doesn't need to be like that. Like, in fact, if we go out on multiple dates, now I'll say this: I'm cool with doing this. One person pay for one date, and the other person pay for the other. That's if you get a second date. I'm cool with that. But the only reason I'm saying anything about paying on the first date because this person can dine and dash on you quick, and it does happen. So I'm just saying, just pump the brakes on that. Let that other person have a little responsibility as well when it comes to seeing you. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Marlon, that shows me an
It's just
investment.
serious.
Yes. That shows me that, hey, you're not out here just trying to get a free meal. You're not out here just trying to get out of the house for a couple of hours. You're not out here just, you know, dating to see what goes on with 10, 15 other people. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because you do have to vet everyone that you meet because people are people. But I'm just saying, like, if she comes in and she lets me know that, hey, I'm going to pay for half this bill. It doesn't mean that
But
I
how
don't want to
often
talk
is
to you
that?
again.
How often is that?
How often does that happen to me?
Yeah, let's just say you. How often does that happen to you?
Never.
I think because you're too forward thinking. I think you're in the wrong
I've never
generation.
heard that before. No, I'm just playing.
I'm just saying. I think that maybe 20 years from now, you won't be considered an outcast thinking like that. But
Hey,
right
like
now,
I said, screw society, man. I feel the way I feel.
no, and I'm not judging you for feeling that way. Not at all. Not at all. But I just feel like, in today's society, not too many women, not too many, not saying that there aren't any, but not too many women would say, "Hey, this is on me."
I'm not saying on me. I'm just saying do your
Well,
part.
even Dutch, I don't think not too many women will.
Why is that? Do you have a idea of why that even is?
If I had to take a wild guess, it's because we're broaching, we're we're splitting generations. Older generation to the new generation. So I think that there are a lot of people out here who want to be those passenger princes. Is that what you called them?
Correct.
I think, but in the same vein, a lot of men want to be passenger princes. So
They're out there.
yeah, absolutely. So I just feel as though everyone wants to be taken care of, if I can say that.
You're right. But I feel like in the beginning, it doesn't hurt for you who agreed to this outing between the two of us to go ahead and split that bill. And
No, I'm not saying anything's wrong with it at all. I mean, I've even heard people say that if two people start dating, my money is my money and his money is my money or our money.
yeah.
But
And
that's a topic for another day.
yeah, but that's just the reality of it. Do you have any more red flags? I know we kind of veered off subject a
Yeah,
little
we
bit. We got a
did.
little
I'm
deeper.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, I think I have about the same red flags as you do. Sometimes distance might be an issue.
It depends on the distance. I think anything under 2 hours, I think we're good.
Yeah, especially under 1 hour. It's
Oh,
golden.
under 1 hour, that's nothing. You can do that standing on your head.
Yeah.
It might be a red flag if you tell me you can't do the distance and we're within an hour.
Well,
Like,
if I had to think about it, I guess if you have kids under a certain age,
granted.
that to me is a red flag as well. You know, and if, of course, if you have different children's fathers,
That's not so much with me, I think, because everybody, like I said, game settings might be different, period of life might be different. But no, I respect that because you're looking at the situation for long term purposes. It's already hard enough to co-parent with one person, much
absolutely,
less multiple.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, I think we've run over time. To be honest with you.
Great conversation. Like I said before, we've got some spin-offs we can do on this. So yeah, I appreciate you asking me these questions for real.
All right. Well, like James said, check out our Spotify. And also, we upload videos on YouTube Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Marlon,
And I'm James.
and this has been Trash Talk and Tall Tales. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good one.